Welcome to this episode of Everything Fast Pitch in our summer series of mini pods. We're going to continue our discussion of what's wrong with the world of travel ball. As we mentioned in the last couple of episodes, had a listener who sent me a list of 3 or 4 things that he wanted us to add to the list from the series of blogs that I wrote a couple of years ago. If you're curious, you can go to the fastpitchprep.com website. There's a whole series of what's wrong and what's right with travel ball. And our listener had a list of things that he thought I missed that should have been added. And so we're going to touch on some of those topics here this summer as we continue to do the series of mini pods. It's one of those things that got a lot of traction. A lot of people reacted. Some people were very positive. Some people were very negative, but that's okay. We're here to spark some discussion. And if you read some of those old articles, I think you might have something to say too. So his next thing that he really despises about the world of travel ball is the stay to play format of some of the biggest tournaments. So basically, for anybody that doesn't understand or hasn't been in this world yet, some of the big tournaments require you to stay at specific hotels that they have contracted with. So basically what ends up happening is the tournament guarantees that the hotels are going to have more customers, they're going to fill up, they're going to have more sellout nights. And in exchange, the hotel kicks back some of your room rates, some of the money that you pay them back to the tournament. So it's a way for the tournament and the showcase to supplement their income, to make more money off of an event. It's also a way for the hotel to generate more business, generate more income. That side of the equation, the tournament and the hotel love stay to play because it's good for them. It's good for their business. It guarantees that they're going to have more income and get more money out of the event that they're running. Now, I've touched on this many, many times. If you're a tournament director and running a tournament is your business, it's the way you make a living, I understand that it's important for you to look at every possible way of generating revenue. If you can generate revenue because you increase the size of the event, that's good business. If you can generate revenue because people have to stay at specific hotels while they're playing in your events, that's good business. But the thing that I think drives me crazy and what is the reason that this listener is so anti-stay to play is it also guarantees that the teams that are playing in the event and the families that are playing in the event are going to be paying probably a little bit more, or in some cases a lot more than they should, to stay at a specific hotel. Now, I know a lot of the tournaments offer you an opportunity where you can buy your way out. So instead of staying at one of their hotels, they'll give you like a penalty fee. So you can pay an extra $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever, and then you can stay wherever you want to. But I think just that thought tells you how much money these hotels are really kicking back to these tournaments. And again, I understand making money. I understand being in business to be profitable. But I also understand that when the families who are already spending a ton of money, a ton of time, missing work, making an awful lot of sacrifices to play in an event and to support their kids playing travel ball and to allow them the opportunity of going all over the country to play, that when there's no nice way to say it, gouging them for more money to stay in places that they might not otherwise want to stay or would be their first choice to stay is just kind of a little too much for me. It's not my place to judge everything, but judging the idea of how much is enough and how much of a profit is enough of a profit, I guess to me, that's something that everybody's got to be able to sleep at night. But the way a lot of these events are being run, it's clear that the people running them have no trouble at all sleeping at night because they're making so much money off of the events that they're pretty well set. They got a lot less things to worry about than some of the families that have to stay. Why is it so problematic? I know I've seen situations where people have stayed at very middle of the road or even lower end hotels as part of stay to play properties that are priced like they're the Ritz-Carlton. We're staying at a Quality Inn or a Motel 6 or a Holiday Inn or a Holiday Inn Express and paying double or triple what their normal rates would be because it's a stay to play event. And to me, that's where it starts to get really, really sketchy. Now, if you've got a deal as a tournament and you're putting people up in the nicest hotel in your town and they're paying the going rate or just a little bit above the going rate, they get to have a great experience. I mean, that's one thing. But when they're staying in maybe a little bit more, let's just say run down, maybe a little bit rougher part of town, maybe a little bit less appealing kind of hotel because they have to, because if they don't, they have to pay an extra fee or they can't participate in your event. To me, I think that's really, really sketchy. So I'm not a fan of the state of play situation. I think that it's unfortunate that we've gotten to that point where that's become such a big thing. The idea that we get to pay our way out of staying at these places is just not going to satisfy me on the front of it. Is it fair or is it right? And again, I think everybody's got to make choices based on what they think is right for their family and for their team. But I would do everything I can to avoid the state of play situation. And if that means picking a different tournament and then working harder for my players to get recruited, making sure that I'm contacting coaches more, spending more time on the phone or more time sending emails, I might choose that path versus falling in line and just sending a bunch of extra money to somebody who's already making money off of my team playing in the tournament. So state of play, I'm not a fan. All right, so that's going to wrap up this edition. Please make sure you still support our sponsors, the Anderson Bat Company, Bidinger and Styles DDS, Mule Tech, EAS, Elite Sporting Goods, Pinnacle Power Butter, and Action Coach. Please make sure you go to the fastpitchprep.com website, order your Square Cuts training discs there, and make sure you reach out to us at everythingfastpitch@gmail.com or fastpitchprep@gmail.com with questions, ideas, suggestions, anything you want us to talk about. We've got a nice little free-form thing going this summer, and we'd be happy to talk about things that you're interested in. So we'll talk to you again soon.